Hilton brings you new ways to stay, with experiences that let you capture the glory days. Introducing the Graduate Hotels. Each inspired by local college towns, these stays are always original and never boring. Get in touch with traditions all across the country and enjoy a stay that's a class above the rest. Book at Graduate Hotels with Hilton Honors Points at Hilton.com. It's a win-win. Hilton, for the stay.
How many discounts does USAA Auto Insurance offer? Too many to say here. Multi-vehicle discount, safe driver discount, new vehicle discount, storage discount, legacy.
How many discounts will you stack up? Visit USAA.com/auto discounts. Restrictions apply.
War Eagle and welcome. This is a brand new venture on E2C Network where we share the Auburn experience. For those of you that don't know my voice, my name is Kyle Loomis. I'm the owner, operator of E2C Network, have been for some time with a host of other characters here that you often hear. Unfortunately, once again, you all are having to listen to my voice. Sorry about that once again, but I hope what we're about to talk about today is something that you, the Auburn family, will find of interest and something that you'll like as a new piece of content experimentation that we're doing here today. We are calling this Ever to Podcast. Yes, it's a play off Ever to Conquer. E2C Network, that's where we get our name. If you didn't know that, that's what E2C stands for. Ever to Podcast. What is this? What are we going to do? Well, as you've probably seen by the time right now, if you've looked at this recording and seen it's 10 to 15 minutes, I don't know. That's what I'm guessing. I'm just now starting talking. It's going to be. We're going to be doing a somewhat regular podcast where I get together with you, the Auburn family, on our audio platform and talk to you about what's going on in the world of Auburn stuff, whether, news stuff, obviously that means some current events things, but some of this just may be things that are popping into my mind. I just notice a lot of times that on social media and various other places, just out and about, people are talking about things. And we don't always get to cover every single thing that we do on our main podcast, on our YouTube channel, all that different stuff. So that's what this is about. This is just a more regular catch up in a shorter a format on this platform where you can get some more current events, quick updates on things on a more regular basis in the Auburn experience. And that Auburn experience for us is all about Auburn sports, Auburn culture, Auburn family stuff. So let's see how we like this. Let's see how this works. We'll do a little bit of experiment together, talking about everything orange and blue. So like I said, some final things about that. We'll probably do this hopefully most weekdays. Haven't decided if that's going to be a Monday through Thursday goal or a Monday through Friday goal yet. There are reasons for that. But we're just going to kind of walk through this together and see what it's like. And I want to hear from you all. As you're listening, drop comments and questions on social media. We'll figure out like a hashtag or something or you can send an email to Kyle Loomis. That's KYLELOMIS at e2cnetwork.com. And if you want a question or a topic brought up on this show, maybe we hear from you and talk about a few of those things as well. Okay, so that's kind of how we think this is going to work. I don't want to bore you with more of the details right now. We'll talk about some updates and other things and get some feedback from you two at the end of the show here today. But let's get into it today and talk about a few things that are going on in the Auburn space. Obviously, Mondays are always, even during the summertime, a big news cycle day. So there's a few of those things that are kind of going today that we can talk about, especially in the sports realm. But I just want to go ahead and start the show by acknowledging our brand new Auburn alumni who just graduated this past weekend, the class of 2025. Now, I know that there are graduations in the fall, and there will be some in the summer, but really, let's be honest, the one that's always made the biggest deal about is the spring, because that's the traditional route of going. You come in the fall as a freshman, and then you end as a senior spring person when you're graduating. Now, obviously, don't want to take that away from everybody who's not graduating this spring or any spring, but I want to acknowledge the end of the academic and oftentimes the main portion of the athletic calendar year, as that's why a lot of us are mainly here, is to talk about the sports angle of this. But we can't get away from the full Auburn experience. So congratulations to all of you. I hope you know the alma mater by heart. You should. You should know a lot of those different things. The creed, obviously, I think there are some parts that people forget about. But, listen, make sure you don't forget your Auburn roots. Congratulations. You are part of a exclusive part of the Auburn family now. It doesn't mean that you're less special if you're not part of that, but it's just a special group within the Auburn family, another little family within that special Auburn family. So congratulations to all of you, and I hope you're ready to hit the real world and represent Auburn really well. Obviously, right now, we're sitting in the middle of spring, and I guess maybe it's technically the end of spring. Yeah, because we even put out a post today talking about the Auburn summer. More on that in just a second. Auburn baseball, boy, how about them? We talked about them on the podcast last night. Obviously, I can just expound on that a little bit further. 24 runs in the first game versus South Carolina. And then, 11-11? They won all 3 games. South Carolina made a game of it in game 2. But a sweep of the South Carolina Gamecocks in baseball is just kind of odd to think about, given how much they've been pretty formidable over the past several years. And really longer than that, for decades now maybe, or a few decades. Maybe not decades. I don't know. Beating South Carolina, even if they're having a bad year, is a big deal the way that Auburn did. This team is looking really good. If you look at some of the rankings that are coming out even as we speak, you're going to see Auburn as high as number 2 right now. Some still have them right about the 6th spot, or I think that was close to where they were previously in a lot of these polls. There are so many polls in baseball. I really wish we would all decide which 1 or 2 we're going to focus on, because it just came very wildly. And the crazy thing is, as much as I love seeing Auburn number 2, thinking about where we were last year, Auburn baseball, that is, it still baffles my mind, because in that particular ranking, LSU is ahead of us at number 1, who we swept at home. I mean, at our home. That's just wild to think about. I know, anybody can have a bad weekend, but Auburn, kind of was in control of that series the majority of the weekend. I get it was at our place, but that's just odd. And then you see Georgia and Texas in that poll, who swept us behind us. That's just wild to think about. And listen, I in no way want to make you believe that rankings should be taken more seriously, one more than the other. They're just something to talk about. The only ranking that matters is that at the end, who's standing at the end? How far did you make it? These are just fun little things to analyze and talk about. Baseball, as much as people will lament about this ranking or that ranking in like football or basketball, baseball is just one of those ones that is just wild to me how much it varies. But let's celebrate it. Number 2, can we just acknowledge all these people that started to question, doubt Butch Thompson? I heard from them on our live streams last year that we need to think about getting rid of Butch Thompson after one bad year. And listen, everybody can have their own opinion. I'm not necessarily dogging you for having a different opinion, but I want to point out how short-sighted people are sometimes when they just jump on these bandwagons or try to create bandwagons to jump on because it's a hot take and they think it sounds sexy or cool or things like that. We just see this way too much. There's a gentleman who called into the show last year. I believe he came on TikTok, a live stream that we did, and started talking about it, and I pushed back on it, and then I invited him to come on our YouTube live stream. And he did, and he was very respectful and shared his opinion. We let him share his side of things. But in hindsight, it just doesn't look good. Butch Thompson has an uncharacteristically bad year for his program, just shocked everybody, and he's immediately back in prominence. Not just in rankings, but he has won every SEC series except Georgia and Texas, who have been near the top this entire season, it feels like, except for now, apparently, in one ranking. It's just a credit to the type of coach that Auburn has, the quality of the human, but the quality of the coach as well. And Butch Thompson, don't ever doubt him. I want to announce this personally for E2C Network, just for the Auburn family, as Auburn summertime. Yes, I know some of you don't have college kids. Yes, I know some of you are still in school if you're a teacher or something like that in these, I want to call it the elementary, the high school, the middle school phase. But Auburn summer really technically begins as soon as graduation happens. That's the campus empties out, the town in some respects empties out a little bit, and that's kind of the hub and reason we're all here today talking about this. So Auburn summer has begun. I want to know from you all what your Auburn summer is going to look like. Where are you heading? How many times are you going to be repping Auburn gear? We put out a call on social media that we want to hear from you. We want to see your pictures in Auburn gear in the places that you're going to be, whether it's just in your backyard with your little inflatable pool. That's fine too. If that's how you're spending your summer. If you're going to Paris, if you're going to a theme park, if you're going to the beach, if you're going to the lake, if you're just on a road trip seeing like the most giant ball of yarn on some of those Route 66 things, I don't care. I just want to see, I want to know about, I want to hear, I want to live vicariously through you, the Auburn family, this summer. So we're putting out a call for that. If you can tag us in whatever social media you're on, Facebook, X, Instagram, all of that with your picture, or just tag us in your comment section, however, or DM us of that picture, whatever you can. And we would like to share that. If you do that, we'll take that as you're giving us permission to share that out. And obviously we'll credit where it came from. But we want to tell the story of the Auburn family this summer, if some of you will participate in that. I think it's a great thing to see and kind of all live vicariously through each other and how things are going for you this summer. Some final notes here, and this is more kind of happening now. Auburn men's golf is currently in their NCAA regional. And at this moment, I'm recording at about 12:31 and I should have said this at the beginning of the show. This is Monday, May 12th, where they're competing in the regional. They were positioned pretty well, I think, in first place by about 4 strokes over Texas A&M. Obviously, they are the reigning NCAA champions. They are hosting their regional, and then we'll move on to the next round of play if they, meet certain criteria here, which I think a lot of people are expecting them to. A lot of awards were talked about on the podcast this past week of Coach Kleiner repeating as SEC Coach of the Year, Jackson Coyven repeating as SEC Player of the Year, more first team, all SEC guys, second team guys, all freshmen. This team is still just stacked. Doesn't mean that it's a shoe-in for them to repeat, but certainly they seem very well positioned, maybe more so than a lot of teams are in their respective sports. I hate to bring this team up as a comparison, but do you all remember the Florida basketball team with Joakim Noah and all of them, how they won it, and then everybody was basically saying, or some of them were staying, and they seemed like they were the incumbents to do it again, and they did it. I hate to, knock on wood, I hate to say it, but it kind of feels a little similar to that right now. Not a guarantee, certainly well positioned, and we're going to be following them the rest of this end of spring, summertime. The Auburn summer is here after all. I hope you guys are going to follow along with us on different formats on social media, things like that. So this part of the show, I just want to give you some quick reminders. Don't go away just yet, because we want to help you stay informed about how to get involved with us here, but also want to get some feedback from you. Obviously, we have our main podcast, the Auburn Experience podcast. Episode 124 went out this morning. Again, this is Monday the 12th, and had some great Auburn news discussions and Auburn potpourri. We also had, in our main topics, a Mount Rushmore discussion of Auburn pitchers, which I think you need to pay attention to, because there's some good things that we even researched about in there that you need to be more aware of about certain individuals. Obvious choices for that, but that's out there as well. And we discussed the Auburn color guide, Auburn football color guide. They told you what to wear, when to wear, the patterns they're going to do in the stadium. We discussed the validity of some of those, what went away, what's staying. Are you going to participate? Some of the debate around that. That's all there out for you now. And we want you to be looking forward to this Wednesday Auburn Family Night, as most Wednesday nights are, our live call-in show at 9 Eastern time. So those are the main things that I want to remind you of right now. Now, finally, it's time to hear from you, the Auburn family. Please let us know. Tag us in whatever way that you can, in whatever format you can, this particular question. Where are you, the Auburn family, heading this summer? It is the beginning of what we're calling the Auburn summer. Just tag us, let us know. And then as you're going throughout the year, as we gave you the call out, send us some pictures, and we'd love to feature you on our social media. So fill that out for us. As a reminder, this is an experiment. Ever to podcast. My name is Kyle Loomis. And you'll be hearing from me in other formats on the E2C network family of shows and content that we have out there. But we hope that you'll take this ride with us, enjoy it, and let us figure out if this is something that you want, discussing the Auburn experience on more so of a regular basis, almost daily, midweekly, a lot of the time. Thanks for hanging out. Until we talk to you again, War Eagle.